Assalamu alaikum. God's peace be with you. Appreciate you joining me here. Sorry I missed you last week. I had a sinus infection. Alhamdulillah, I'm better now. So that's alhamdulillah. So I'm going to also, if this is the first time that you've seen any of my videos, first of all, welcome. Thank you for visiting my channel. Please start at the first video, and that way you'll make your way here. You'll be caught up with the rest, inshallah, God be willing. Okay, appreciate that. Also, be sure to hit the like button, please, and subscribe. Help me, help others. That's what we're all here to do. We're all here to help each other, and this is why it's, this is what we do. This is part of Islam. Part of the way to Allah is through helping others. So that's alhamdulillah. We should all help each other, right? So that being said, so as the title says, trust God, and the reason I think that's important is because it's easy to get caught up in all of the horrors that are happening today in the world, and they are so numerous now. You've got celebrities performing satanic rituals right in front and center stage, and you've got their entire elite audience cheering them. That was Loki back there. Cheering them on, it's horrific. And then you've got, it's the current environmental catastrophes that have happened here in the U.S. That are threatening to destroy our entire, food source, which many of us have suspected is the whole point. It's an attack, and there's just numerous things, and it can get really, really frightening. And then sometimes you're just frightened on your own. You hear a bump in the night, anything like that. We part of Islam is belief in the unknown. So there are things out here, in there, and everywhere that we can't see, but we know are real. And even though we can't see them, actually sometimes we can feel them. You have that sensation, like the hair stands on the back of your neck, or skin starts to crawl, any of those things, and so you get scared. You need to drop that fear, because the only thing in existence that should be feared is God, Allah Azza wa Jal. Nothing else can harm you if you make a friend in God. Nothing. And in fact, so I had that conversation with somebody one time, because we were talking about evil, and how I said, well, once you've embraced Islam, once you give your heart to your Lord, you're off their radar. They can't mess with you. And she said, no, that's not true. Only the prophets are protected. That's actually not true. Let me clue you in. So look in the Quran. Okay. You always seek refuge in God before you open the book. It's a courtesy. And also, so that they're pointing to that is because Satan is always trying to get into your head and confuse you. And he wants to steer you away from God's path. So he would love for you to misread something or misunderstand something. So that's why we seek refuge in God before we open our Quran. Kicks him back to the curb. So in the Quran, chapter 16, we call chapters surahs, and verses are called ayats. Okay, but for the English, for the fact of just staying on course, what I'm trying to do here to build the bridge. So chapter 16 is the B, and this is verse 98. And when thou recitest the Quran, seek refuge in Allah from Satan, the cursed. Lo, he hath no power over those who believe and put trust in their Lord. His power is only over those who make a friend of him, and those who ascribe partners unto Allah. Full stop. So there it is. In the Quran, which we know is the undisputed, inarguable, direct word of God on earth. So right there, in plain sight, lo, he hath no power over those who believe and put trust in their Lord. Period. Full stop. If you believe and put trust in your Lord, they can't mess with you. That's it. Period. Done deal. Argument, win me. I got the point. So, yeah. So, this is why I say, put trust in God. Because God will protect you if you seek His protection. As a believer, if you seek His protection, if you ask for His protection, He'll give it to you. Inshallah. And then, now, speaking of which, so there's a couple of important prayers that you can use called du'as. And they actually serve this very purpose. They act as protection. Because that was one of the things is I was thinking like, okay, so you shoo evil away. But it always tries to come back at you. It's like one of those ankle biters. One of those little ankle biting dogs like the Chihuahua, trying to get you. And you're like, you give it a boot or something, shoo it away. Arl's a bit like, get out of here. And it's, runs away. But then as soon as you turn your back, it's trying to get you again. Right? So it's like, do you want to constantly have to keep on, shooing this thing off and shooing this thing off? I mean, we got other things to do. So, alhamdulillah, praise be to God, there are a couple of du'as that you can say, which provide you with full 360-degree protection. Okay? One of them is a simple du'a. It's, to my knowledge, I don't know if it even actually has a title to it, so to speak, but I refer to it as the remembrance of Allah. Okay? And it essentially goes, La ilaha illallah wa hadara sharika lahu lahul mulku wa lahul hamdu wa huwa ala kulli shay'in qadir. And essentially, loosely translated would be, there is no God but God, but Allah, having no partners ascribed to Him. He has power of all things. He is the master and has power of all things. So mulku lahu hamdu wa ala kulli shay'in qadir. Yep. So that's essentially what the remembrance of Allah means. In a nutshell. I mean, I could translate it better, but I'm not so good at remembering full words yet. Inshallah, maybe one day. But essentially, it's like a mini version of the throne. It's beautiful. It's short but beautiful. It only takes takes no time to say it. Now, if you recite this 10 times, then they say Allah Azza wa Jalla will give you a great reward for it. The equivalent of freeing a slave, which back in the day, that was considered a tremendous reward. And then if you say it 100 times, which can take 5 to 10 minutes, roughly about 10 minutes, and you think, 10 minutes, man, I already prayed 10 minutes, relax, 10 minutes, and the reward is the equivalent of freeing 10 slaves, as well as Allah Azza wa Jal shields you with a 360-degree shield that keeps all evil influences away from you for the rest of the day. Okay? So it's better than smudging. Okay? You say this 100 times, everything evil, repelled, gone, kicked to the curb. It's not going to bother you at all for the rest of the day. And I'm going to provide, inshallah, a link so you can find this dua. You'll see the translation, the transliteration, as well as the original Arabic, and then you could learn it just like I did. And you can find the pronunciation for that, the correct pronunciation, easily on YouTube if you look it up. Okay. Secondly, the other thing that we have that is really beautiful is Ayatul Kursi. So Ayatul Kursi. So again, Ayat is a verse, right? Ayat is a verse. So Ayatul Kursi is verse 255 of chapter 2 of the Holy Quran, which is the Al-Baqarah, the cow, and is called the throne. Now, in many hadiths, the Prophet Muhammad has been observed as saying that this, out of all the ayats in the Holy Quran, this one, Ayatul Kursi, is Allah's favorite. He loves it most of all. And so there are very, very special blessings for those who learn this and recite this ayat. For example, two of them I know of that I can, off the top of my head. There's probably, there are many, but I only know a couple off the top of my head. One of them, which is one of the ones I was, one of the reasons I really wanted to learn this one, is if you recite Ayatul Kursi after every Fard prayer. Fard means required, so we have 5, right? Fajr, Dhuhr, Asr, Maghrib, Isha. If you recite Ayatul Kursi after each prayer, essentially Allah Azza wa Jal says the path to paradise is open to you, period. You're in. You're done. You're in. So, how awesome is that? That's reason enough to learn this. It's your golden ticket. Alhamdulillah. The second is if you recite this Ayatul Kursi in the morning, that you are protected for the whole day from any evil influence. You are shielded. So it works just like the other duo we talked about. I do them both because why not get double protection? But I don't sincerely know if it's even necessary. I think one or the other is fine. Doing both, of course, you get extra rewards. So there's your incentive right there. But nonetheless, so if you're now, since you're already doing this as part of Fajr, then that's not a problem, right? Now you just now you got a double win right there. You get your ticket to paradise, plus you get protection from evil. Alhamdulillah. I mean, you can't lose. And the other is that if you recite it at night before going to sleep, Allah Azza wa Jal will send a guardian to watch over you and protect you while you sleep. Again, to keep all evil away from you. So it is a beautiful, beautiful ayat. And there are these and multiple other benefits for learning it and reciting it. And again, the page that I'm going to share with you, inshallah, in the comments, it will have the original Arabiya, as well as the transliteration, so you can learn it yourself. And then there's the translation, so you can understand the meaning. Okay. And there's actually, in this particular link that I found, it's the one I've used, there's also a YouTube clip so that you can learn the pronunciation and follow it along in the transliteration. So again, so you can really learn how this is correctly pronounced. And it's a beautiful one. The next thing I intend to learn, and God be willing, inshallah, are the last 2 verses of Surat al-Baqarah, which also are said to have multiple blessings. But learning this dua, the remembrance of Allah, and learning the Ayatul Kursi are really, really good ways to offer you protection and receive extra blessings. And there are things that you should use every single day, inshallah, every single day. Another thing is simply Bismillah. Bismillah means in the name of Allah, in the name of God. And again, when you say this, evil backs off. Evil backs off at the very mention of God. Evil backs away. So this is why it's encouraged that, like, for example, every time you enter a room, you say Bismillah. Okay, just like every time before you go to eat a meal, you say Bismillah. So this is going to, again, repel evil and keep evil things from entering you or influencing you in any way, because they're constantly doing this and they're constantly at it. Because all they want to do is they want to make sure that you don't get to paradise, because they're not going there. They're going to Jahannam. They're going to hell, and all they want to do is make sure that you're there with them. Well, sorry, but we got bad news for you. I seek refuge in God from Satan the accursed. Get lost. Get packing. Get out of here. And so that's what I mean when I say trust in God. Another thing to bring that concept even closer to home. So the other day, a person I know, someone I'm familiar with. I knew her before I became Muslim, so I still talk to her on social media. like other people. I don't just suddenly cut them off. Now, would I want to meet these people in person? No. No, because, you know, there are certain things that we're expected of. Men are not supposed to be physical with women or near women, hang out with women. Okay? And there are obvious reasons why. Okay? And if you think that's crazy that Islam does that, Christianity used to do it too. The Puritans, for example. So we've just, you know, a lot of faiths have grown weaker these days, whereas Islam still remains true to its roots. And it's just, but online, social media, you know, it's, I mean, for me, I would prefer if people wore hijab. But nonetheless, you know, it's okay to share with people there, I think. You know, maybe the scholars might think otherwise, but you know, and maybe at some point, maybe we would reach a point where even talking online wouldn't happen. Okay? Inshallah, right? But we're also trying to ease our way into things. We're not trying to take on everything all at once. So nonetheless, so I'm not cutting on all my old friends' ties. And I'll tell you, in this particular situation, there is a good reason why. So anyways, point is, so she posted something. It was a meme. And in it was a simple thing. And the meme said, "When does the pain stop?" And I stopped for a minute. I was like, oh, okay. And so I know her. She's been going through some awful, very, 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 very serious tests. But throughout it, she found her own faith. She is a true, God-fearing, practicing Christian. And she embraces her faith wholeheartedly and prays frequently. And is very, you know, she's a good person. She's really, really a good person, and she's really trying, and she's really struggling, and there's some really tough things that she's dealing with, and I know this. So when she posted that, you know, I had to reach out. I had to say something, and I said, listen, I said, pain is a test. Pain is a test, and for those who endure it, and hold true to their faith, hold strong to their faith, the rewards are beyond imagination. Okay? Because the afterlife is our goal. This is just the stepping stone to get there. The test to see if you're worthy. I said, trust me. God is building you a 3-story palace with a built-in sauna and a built-in saltwater tub, and your own water garden with cascading waterfalls outside. Stay true to your heart and stay the course. Hold fast to your faith. To which she replied with several crying emojis. She said, "You have no idea how badly I needed to hear something like that. How badly I needed to hear those words." She said, "Thank you so much. You've just given me the encouragement I needed to keep fighting and keep moving on." Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. So, again, trust in God. Okay? He says in the Quran, He will never place a burden on us heavier than what we can bear. But see, we don't know what we can bear. Only He knows that. Right? He knows us better than we know ourselves. He made us. So He knows what you can do, what you can deal with. But if things get rough, you ask Him, you pray to Him, you say, "Hey, help me here. I'm doing my best. I'm trying. But this is getting tough." You know, but then here's the thing. The Quran also says how people ask God for help, and then He helps them, and then they just forget. They act like this was nothing. Let me give you an example. So you get your rent check, you get your bill due, and then you get your next power bill due. And you're looking at this and you're saying, man, you know, $1,100, I don't have that. My paycheck is going to go to groceries this week. I don't have that. I'm going to lose my home. And you ask God, and you're like, please, I need help. I need help. And you keep praying, and you keep praying. A couple of days go by. Suddenly, you know, Tuesday, you go down to the mail room, and you're like, hey, what's this? This is interesting. This looks like a check in the mail. You open it up, and there's this little letter that says that, oh, because you were part of a class action lawsuit to so-and-so, you have been awarded X number of money. You look at it, the check's $1,200. Whoa. Whoa. Now my rent is paid and my power is paid and I got extra. Wow. Now, 99% of people will just go cash the check, do what they got to do, and then that's it. How many people would actually think about that for a minute, what just happened, and realize it was a little miracle that just happened? They needed help. They asked God for help, and then they got the help. But see, most people won't attribute that to God. Why? Well, because an angel didn't come out of the sky carrying a chest of gold, right? So, well, I earned this somehow. This was mine. This is me. No, it wasn't. It was from God, because everything in this universe is His, including me, including you. But how many times do we get the help and then fail to thank Him? You know what it's like? You know that feeling, what it's like to feel unwanted, unappreciated? I don't think any other being in all creation knows that feeling better than Him. Nope. So, I make a point. I try. Especially at night. After Laylatul Qadr. And I'll say to Him, I'll say, Allah, I want you to know I appreciate you. I thank you. I remember you. You talk about people, how they don't appreciate you and they don't remember you, but I remember you and I appreciate you. I appreciate you and I thank you so much. I thank you for everything you've ever done for me and everything you've ever done for all of the Ummah, all of humanity. How much you give. You give more than anyone could possibly ever recognize. And so much of what is waiting for us isn't even here yet. You know, when I talk about these things, again, people just think about the dunya. And the dunya is nothing. The dunya is temporary. This earth is temporary. Everything on this earth is temporary. I'm talking about the akhirah. You know, you might deal with some pain here. You might deal with some struggles here. But they're not going to last, because this world isn't even going to last. Okay? Stay the course. Trust in God. And you will make it. And you will make it better than you could possibly have hoped for. This is what, you know, put trust in God. Put trust in God, seek refuge in God, and always resist evil. And you will do well. You will do well. And remember God and show appreciation. Show appreciation. Think about all the things that you have, because these are all things that someone else does not have. And also do your best to try to be charitable when you can. Give something. If it's not monetarily, give something of yourself. Give some part of you to service. Give some part of you to support. Help somebody that needs help some way, somehow. Give of yourself. You know, when God says, give of that which I have given you, it doesn't always mean money. He could just mean part of your heart, part of your mind, part of your strength, your arm, you know, pick something up for somebody, help somebody across the street, any of these things. This is all part of zakat, honestly. And this is one of the 5 pillars of our faith. So it's important, okay? Trust in God and give of yourself when you can. And always remember to you know, keep your thoughts to the Ummah, which is our collective society. And that's another thing that we should always try to give to too, to strengthen each other, because together we're always stronger than we are alone. I mean, I could go on forever, but let's just put a bookmark in it for there today. Appreciate you joining me again. Assalamu alaikum barakatuh. Peace and blessings of God be with you always, and have an excellent night. Stay safe.